Is it finally time for a six-figure Bitcoin? Hello everyone, my name is Mathieu. In today's video, we'll be going over if it's finally time for Bitcoin's next leg up and what are the implications for altcoins. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Let's jump right into it. If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart here, we can see that we're consolidating above the $90,000 mark. There are currently two ways to view the market. One, that we are on the brink of an explosive breakout, or two, it's time for the markets to cool down and consolidate before our next leg higher. First, let's explore both scenarios objectively and make sure you tune in till the end of the video where I will share my personal thoughts as to what could be going on with Bitcoin and the rest of the market. One of the most important metrics this cycle to follow has been USDT dominance. USDT dominance is basically inversely correlated with the crypto market. So whenever USDT dominance is coming down, crypto and Bitcoin in particular is going up. And whenever we found support on this trend line, that has marked a local top. We can see here that as soon as we hit this trend line in March, it marked the top of 73.8K for Bitcoin. We then went to the upside and Bitcoin was range bound until finally we broke out all the way to $90,000 now. Now we are at a crucial moment on this trend line. And we can see now that the candle is actually below the trend line, which is extremely positive for crypto. Because if we break below here, there is a very strong chance that we fall further, which would bring us to path one, which, as I explained on my Twitter, is that if we close the week and month below the trend line, Bitcoin and altcoins will explode to the upside. Then we have path two, which I drew the arrow in red because it's the more bearish scenario for the market, is if we were to wick here and bounce off of this trend line once again. Now this would highly likely mark another local top for Bitcoin around the 90K mark. So these are the two potential scenarios, and I outlined them both on my Twitter. By the way, if you want quicker real-time updates, I'm always posting on my Twitter, and you can find it in the description down below. It is the first link under Connect with Me. Crypto by Mathieu on Twitter. Make sure you drop a follow. Something else that I need to share with you is the altcoin market. We can see here I'm looking at the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. The last piece of resistance here was around the March top. We are now climbing above on the weekly at 815 billion. If we close the week above here, it would suggest further upside for altcoins, which is extremely exciting because I know that some of you are getting very impatient with altcoins. The next areas of resistance, should we break to the upside here, would be the $1 trillion mark, which was all the way back in May of 2021. And then we also have the ultimate top for the altcoin market, which was around $1.13 trillion around November 2021. Now, if we zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture, I am very confident that these levels will break come 2025. Because if we take a look at the total crypto market cap, we are now just teasing at the prior all-time high. The prior all-time high was actually right at the $3 billion mark, and we are now right below the $3 billion mark. And in my opinion, the total crypto market cap could go as high as $7 to $10 trillion this bull market peak. And that would suggest to me that alts will overall probably climb past the $3 to $4 trillion mark. Just to put it in perspective, if I zoom out a little bit here, that would bring us all the way up to here, which is essentially multiplying the current altcoin market cap by a minimum of 4. Something else that we have going in our favor is that Q4 of the halving year is historically very bullish. So far, we are already up 44% on Bitcoin this quarter, which is one of the most impressive Q4s that we've seen in quite some time. In the meantime, if we have a look, we can see that Solana is clearly leading the altcoin market, pumping all the way from $213 to $239 in a matter of a couple days. If this is truly the altcoin breakout, other altcoins will certainly follow. The interesting thing here is that Ethereum, on the other hand, is still lagging behind. And as I mentioned in previous videos, Bitcoin is still making new lows after new lows. So it is indeed very interesting to see the fact that Solana is outperforming Ethereum at the current moment in the market. But could this have some further repercussions? Is Ethereum sniffing out some weakness in the economy? I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. I've been in crypto since 2018, but I've also looked at the historical data. ETH typically leads the altcoin market. And so with ETH showing this weakness, I don't necessarily buy the narrative that Ethereum is a shitcoin and it will no longer go up. I still think we could see Ethereum cracking close to $10,000 in this bull market. And so I'm not going to be the person to tell you that Ethereum is a lost cause, because it really isn't. Historically, when ETH starts running, it gives the green light to the rest of the altcoins to tell them, hey, it's time for you to pick up as well. And so, of course, we can't fade how well Solana has been doing, but we still need to take into consideration that Ethereum will eventually have its moment and outperform as it normally does. You just need to be patient. By the way, if you want to get some Ethereum before it takes off and trade the crypto market to make some profits, whether we go up or down, I would highly recommend my favorite exchange, Bybit. Bybit is currently offering a free $500 airdrop for your trading positions. So if you want to sign up and earn that bonus, make sure to click the first link in my description, where you'll not just be able to earn $500, but you'll also have the comfort of knowing that you are trading on the best and the most reliable exchange in the industry. Okay, so we can clearly tell that we are seeing some bullish momentum in the market for altcoins since Bitcoin has stalled around the 90K mark. It looks like we might be breaking the total crypto market cap all-time high, and it looks like altcoins are also about to break their previous highs in March. There is, however, another side to the market that I need you to consider, and that would be, interestingly enough, that whenever we've seen meme coin trading volume surge, it typically marked a local Bitcoin top. So you need to understand this. We can see here on this chart that when the daily volume of meme coins spikes, Bitcoin typically has a correction. Now, the caveat here is, yes, this is a spike where we're currently at, but it could very well go much higher, as we've seen in the previous market cycle. Look how high we went in 2021 when it came to meme coin trading volume. So yes, it could mark a local top, but it could also go much higher before that local top is actually in. Something else that you need to consider is that altcoins can also pump in the short term against Bitcoin, but they might also have pullbacks, and that can be seen in Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is still well within this uptrend range, and it wouldn't surprise me again if we broke out of here before altcoins would sustainably rally against the rest of the market. And so just because you see a couple outliers of flashy meme coins exploding, it does not mean that altcoins as a whole will outperform the rest of the market. You need to be aware of this. I even had a conversation with Benjamin Cowan on Twitter here, where basically he was saying that it's funny now that Bitcoin dominance came back and retested the 60% mark. He spoke about the fact that since there's still quantitative tightening, which I touched on in my last video, the fact that the dollar and yields are going up, and that Bitcoin dominance does historically go up in December of the halving year, which is only a couple weeks away, could indicate that Bitcoin dominance continues to go higher. Now, I kind of shared my prediction here that we would see perhaps 63 to 64%. But the thing is, for those of you guys that are worried that you missed out on altcoins, if you're still holding your Bitcoin, you essentially missed out on nothing. And so that's the key message that I'm trying to get across here. Bitcoin has outperformed most of the market. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a good time to potentially start dollar cost averaging into your favorite altcoins, because I personally am doing that. But you should just know that Bitcoin dominance doesn't look like it's near its top soon. And so we could still see some underperformance from altcoins compared to Bitcoin in the coming month. Something else that I want to show you in terms of reshaping your mindset for accumulating Bitcoin is the fact that despite seeing that the Bitcoin ETFs have seen outflows over the past couple of business days, BlackRock over here, which is the IBIT ETF, are still seeing hundreds of millions of dollars in inflows. These guys are looking to have as much control of Bitcoin as possible, and it is our duty as individuals to not let that happen. Okay, so what exactly do I think? Do I think that Bitcoin is just going to explode past all-time highs and the altcoins are going to follow, and then altcoins will have that altcoin season that we're dreaming of? Well, not necessarily. Now, what I have here is the altcoin performance versus Bitcoin. And it would feel completely irresponsible of me if I didn't share with you that in a lot of the previous market cycles, the altcoins against Bitcoin hit this 0.25 level. We are currently at 0.38, and we had a pretty big wick this week. I still think that somehow, some way, altcoins will find themselves towards the bottom of this range at some point. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't mean that the market has to crash. If Bitcoin explodes to new all-time highs over and over and over again, surpasses 100K, and drags the rest of the market with it slowly, altcoins could still underperform Bitcoin. And so if we see a six-figure Bitcoin, altcoins will certainly go up with it, but they might just go up less than Bitcoin did. And so if that were to happen, alts against Bitcoin would also drop. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the market has to correct. Now, I think that regardless of where the market goes, if we see a short correction, if we see another explosive move to the upside, Bitcoin dominance will likely continue its uptrend. That being said, there are no certainties in this market. And so because Bitcoin dominance is extremely high at the moment, yes, it could go higher, but it is a very good time to dollar cost average into your favorite altcoins. And again, you can do so on Bybit. The link is in my description. But just make sure that you're dollar cost averaging into altcoins, knowing that they might still potentially drop against Bitcoin in the next month or so. The ultimate indicator that will give me confidence to tell you that altcoins will sustainably outperform Bitcoin is when they move from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. And I spoke about this in my last video as well. So once they turn on that money printer, that is when the rest of retail comes and they have money to speculate on these altcoins. That is when we'll see the historic explosive altcoin season. But until then, it is not a bad idea to start dollar cost averaging into altcoins. So overall, it looks like the total crypto market cap is on the brink of surpassing $3 trillion, and this can cause a breakout for altcoins and Bitcoin as a whole. I don't expect us to just fly through this level without at least a little bit of resistance. So be prepared for some potential pullbacks. That being said, it is also a very good time to start slowly dollar cost averaging into your favorite altcoins. But my expectation is that Bitcoin dominance will likely continue a little bit higher towards the end of the year, as historically, Bitcoin dominance does go up in December of the halving years. That sums up today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. Leave your comments down below. What do you think? Till next time.